Hey guys, welcome back. Tech Freckle here again. Today we're going to go over the next part of the course, which is Semantic HTML. All right, Introduction to Semantic HTML. When building web pages, we use a combination of non-semantic HTML and semantic HTML. The word semantic means relating to meaning, so semantic elements provide the information about the content between the opening and closing tags. By using semantic HTML, we select HTML elements based on their meaning, not on how they are presented. Elements such as div and span are not semantic elements, since they provide no context as to what is inside of those tags. For example, instead of using a div element to contain our header information, we could use a header element, which is used as a heading section. By using a header tag instead of a div, we provide context as to what information is inside of the opening and closing tag. Why use semantic HTML? Accessibility. Semantic HTML makes websites accessible for mobile devices and for people with disabilities as well. This is because screen readers and browsers are able to interpret the code better. SEO, it improves the website SEO or search engine optimization, which is a process of increasing the number of people that visit your web page. With better SEO, search engines are better able to identify the content of your website and weight the most important content appropriately. Easy to understand. Semantic HTML also makes the website's code easier to read for other web developers. To better understand this, you can think of comparing non-semantic HTML to going into a store with no signs on the aisles. Since the aisles aren't labeled, you don't know what products are in those aisles. However, stores that do have signs for each aisle make it a lot easier to find the items you need, just like semantic HTML. Analyze the diagram and take note of key differences between non-semantic and semantic code. Okay. Header and nav. Let's take a look at some semantic elements that assist in the structure of a web page. A header is a container, usually for either navigational links or introductory content, containing H1 to H6 headings. The example below shows header in action. Header H1, everything you need to know about pizza. Okay. This can be compared to the code below, which uses a div tag instead of a header tag. Div ID header. Yeah. By using a header tag, our code becomes easier to read. It is much easier to identify what is inside of the H1 parents tag as opposed to a div, which would provide no details as to what is inside of the tag. Nav is used to define a block of navigation links, such as menus and tables of contents. It is important to note that nav can be used inside of the header element, but can also be used on its own. Let's take a look at the example below. Header, nav, unordered list, list item, home, and about. By using nav as a way to label our navigation links, it will be easier for us, not only for us, but also for web browsers and screen readers to read the code. Now that we've learned about the header and nav elements, let's add them into our code. In the code editor, find the div ID header and change it to header. Okay. And then there's double divs, so get rid of this one. In opening tag, you must find the corresponding closing tag, which we've done. Now find the div nav and change it to nav. Okay. Main and footer. Two more structural elements are main and footer. These elements, along with nav and header, help describe where an element is located based on conventional web development standards. The element main is used to encapsulate the dominant content within a web page. This tag is separate from the footer and the nav of a web page since these elements don't contain the principal content. By using main as opposed to a div element, screen readers and web browsers are able to better identify that whatever is inside of the tag is the bulk of the content. So how does main look when incorporated into our code? That's a great question. So we have main, header, article. Okay. As we see above, main contains an article and header tag with child elements that hold the most important information related to the page. The content at the bottom of the subject information is known as the footer, indicated by the footer element. The footer contains information such as contact information, copyright, terms of use, sitemap, reference to top page links, for example. Email me at Cody at Codecademy. Okay. The example above, the footer is used to contain content information. The footer tag is separate from the main element and typically located at the bottom of the content. In the code editor, find the div ID main and change it to main. This one. And then div ID footer will be the footer. Okay. Article and section. Now that we have covered the body of semantic HTML, let's focus on what can go in the body. The two elements we're going to focus on now are section and article. Section defines elements in a document, such as chapters, headings, or any other area of the document with the same theme. For example, content with the same theme, such as articles about crickets, can go under a single section. Website's homepage could be split into sections for the introduction, news, items, and contact information. Here's an example how to use a section. Section H2 fun facts about crickets. Okay, in the code above, we created a section element to encapsulate the code. In section, we added an H2 element as a heading. The article element holds content that makes sense on its own. Article can hold content such as articles, blogs, comments, magazines, etc. An article tag would help someone using a screen reader understand where the article content that might contain a combination of text, images, audio, etc. begins and ends. Here's an example how to use article. Okay, so this article within a section. Code above, the article element containing a fact about crickets was placed inside of the section element. It is important to note that a section element could also be placed in an article element depending on the context. Okay. In the code, find and replace the div ID section with section. Note when removing the div tag, make sure you remove the ID attached to it. Yep, we've done that. Now encapsulate the H2 and P2 tag with article. The aside element. The aside element is used to mark additional information that can enhance another element, but isn't required in order to understand the main content. This element can be used alongside other elements, such as article or section. Some common uses of the aside element are for bibliographies, endnotes, comments, pull quotes, editorial sidebars, additional information. Here's an example of aside being used alongside article. Article. The first World Series was played between Pittsburgh and Boston in 1903 and was a 9-game series. That's the end of the article. Aside, Babe Ruth once stated, heroes get remembered, but legends never die. Okay, so I want to see how that changes over here. As shown above, the information within the article is the important content. Meanwhile, the information within the aside enhances the information in the article, but it's not required in order to understand it. Remove the div ID aside. Place it with the aside tag. Okay. Okay. Figure and fig caption. With aside, we learned that we can put additional information next to a piece of content, but what if we wanted to add an image or illustration? That is where figure and fig caption come in. Figure is an element used to encapsulate media such as an image, illustration, diagram, code snippet, etc., which is referenced in the main flow of the document. Figure, image source, Overwatch, JPEG. In this code, we created a figure element so that we can encapsulate our image tag. In figure, we use the image tag and insert an image onto the web page. We use the source attribute within the image tag so that we can link to the source of the image. It's possible to add a caption to the image by using fig caption. Fig caption is an element used to describe the media in the figure tag. Usually fig caption will go inside of figure. Okay. This is different than using a P element to describe the content. If we decide to change the location of figure, the paragraph tag may get displaced from the figure, while a fig caption will move with the figure. This is useful for grouping an image with a caption. Okay, the example above, we added a fig caption into the figure element to describe the image from the previous example. This picture shows characters from Overwatch. Okay, oh, nerd stuff. Hell yeah. This helps group the figure content with the fig caption content. While the content in figure is related to the main flow of the document, its position is independent. This means you can remove it or move it somewhere else without affecting the flow of the document. Create an opening and closing figure tag under the closing section tag. So figure. So image. So we're gonna add image in. Boom. Here's a puppy. Create a fig caption. Under the image and describe the image. Let's call it rainbow puppy. It's like the sun or something. Now that we learned about text-based content, let us dig into audio. Surely everyone needs audio. How else would you listen to your Korean hip-hop? The audio element is used to embed audio content into a document like video. Audio uses source to link to the audio source. Okay. In this example, we created an audio element, then we created a source element to encapsulate our audio link. In this case, I'm an audio file. MP3 is our audio file. Then we specified the type by using type and named what kind of audio it is. Although not always necessary, it's recommended that we state the type of an audio as it helps the browser identify more easily and determine if that type of audio file is supported by the browser. We linked our audio file into the browser, but now we need to give it controls. This is where the attribute comes in. Attributes provide additional information about an element. Attributes allow us to do many different things to our audio file. There are many attributes for audio, but today we're going to be focusing on controls and source. Controls automatically displays the audio controls into the browser, such as play and mute, and SRC specifies the URL of the audio file. As you might have noticed, we already used the SRC attribute in the example code above. Most attributes go into the opening tag of audio. For example, here's how we could add both autoplay functionality and audio controls. Okay. In the code editor, create an audio tag with the attribute controls directly under the commented line. Audio, and we just wanted controls. Boom. Okay. It's interesting that it's saying it like that. So source C equals by using this code. Push it manually. Close this. Boom. There's any audio there. There it is. All right, video and embed. As demonstrated in the previous exercise, media content can be a useful addition to a website. By using a video element, we can add videos to our website. The video element makes it clear that a developer is attempting to display a video to the user. Some attributes can alter a video playback include controls. When added in, a play pause button will be added onto the video along with volume controls and a full screen option. Autoplay, the attribute which results in a video automatically playing as soon as the page is loaded. Loop, this attribute results in the video continuously playing on repeat. Below is an example of video being used with the controls attribute. So video, source, controls, video not supported. In the code above, the video file named coding is being played. The video not supported will only show up if the browser is unable to display the video. Another tag that can be used to incorporate media content into the page is the embed tag, which can embed any media, including videos, audio files, and GIFs from an external source. This means that websites that have an embed button have some form of media content that can be added to other websites. The embed tag is a self-closing tag, unlike the video element. Note that embed is a deprecate tag, and other alternatives such as video, audio, and image should be used in its place. but is being taught for legacy purposes. Below, we'll take a look at embed being used in action. Embed source download GIF. Okay, in the above example, embed is being used to add in a GIF from a local file known as download.gif. Embed can be used to add local files as well as media content straight from some other websites. Add the following video URL with the attribute controls and wrap it into an opening and closing video tag. In between the opening and closing video tag, you can add a text that will show up if the video is unable to load. This video or this text is helpful with screen readers as well. Okay. So video source equals this. Did we wanted controls, and between the open and closing tag, you can add text that will show up. Vid not loading. So loud. Add the following GIF into your code using the embed tag and the source attribute. Okay, so we'll go embed. I think we don't need to do anything else. All right, GIF. Guess I could put the self-close in. Review. Congrats on completing this lesson on Semantic HTML. Now that you know the benefits of Semantic HTML and how to use it, you can incorporate semantic elements into your website to make it more accessible and make code easier to read. Let's review some of the topics we covered throughout the lesson. Semantic HTML introduces meaning to a page through specific elements that provide context as to what is in between the tags. Semantic HTML is a modern standard and makes website accessible for people who use screen readers to translate the web page and improves your website's SEO. Header, nav, main, and footer create the basic structure of the web page. Section defines elements in a document such as chapters, headings, or any other area of the document within the same theme. Article holds content that makes sense on its own, such as article, blogs, comments, etc. Side contains information that is related to the main content but not required in order to understand the dominant information. Figure encapsulates all types of media. A fig caption is used to describe the media in figure. Video embed audio elements are used for media files. Now apply this knowledge to become a better web developer. Now it's time to use what you learned to build a more accessible website. All right, let's take a quiz. All right. Why is the code below incorrect? So with audio, it's not a self-closing tag. So the audio does not specify the type, which doesn't always need. The controls attribute is not included, which is fine. Sources for all sources. What? Sources only for nope. Audio is not a self-closing, requires no closing. Exactly what we said at the start. Why is the div tag not semantic? Provides no context as to what is inside. All right, which semantic tags complete the code? Section, P, were caretakers for the robots, side. Why is the code below incorrect? Fig caption. Okay, so fig caption needs to be inside a figure. Yeah, the use needs to be reversed. Add the correct type of semantic tag. Section. I'm going to assume this is an article. Yes. What's the difference between embed and video? Okay, this one's interesting. Yeah, I guess this is more cement. Oh, become easy for video while embed can use. Okay, interesting. Which code snippet is the correct way to rewrite this semantic HTML div ID? So it would be just header. So it's the closing, which is what's missing. Okay, so which one was the one I got incorrect? Yeah, correct answer is explaining that video is specific for video content, while embed can be used for any type of media, not just videos. Distinction lies in the specialized use of video compared to the broader functionality. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Fuck. If I would have read that, I would have realized. All right. We'll leave this project for the next video. I will see you guys there.